Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Tonight's show is a guest that we haven't had on in a long time. He's the star of the What's Brewing show, and it's the one and only George Brew. How are you doing on this February evening, right before the Super Bowl?
I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot warmer today than it was tonight. But no, it's good. So I miss you. It's been too long since I came on and helped you out here.
Yeah, it's been a minute since you've been on. Probably since the summer was the last time I've had you on. Yeah, I missed having you on the show as well. So let's dive right into some Super Bowl props. I love talking about betting stuff with you on the show.
Yeah, because I'm such a great gambler.
Yeah, you're such a great gambler. What prop or thing would you like to start with? You can go like anywhere on the board. I have FanDuel pulled up. Where do you want to start?
You know, can I tell you? I think the funniest ones have like anything to do with like Travis Kelce catches and Taylor Swift like songs in a concert, or so it's like stupid stuff. I'm loving the Taylor Swift stuff. But no, like I saw like the one I saw that was my favorite, and the one I actually bet on, was Caitlin Clark points against Travis Kelce first half yards.
Oh, the cross sports ones. Those are fun.
See, I love the cross sport ones because they don't take as much critical thinking. It's like, all right, Caitlin Clark averages like 33 a game. On. Oh, sorry, Matt. By the way, I'm in the car, so if I start screaming, it's because somebody's doing something dumb.
Oh, that's okay. That's literally me all the time in the car.
Well, like, Caitlin Clark averages 33 a game, right? So I'm like, Travis Kelce's going to have 34 in the first half. Unless, like, you know, like, he's still worried that Taylor's not there or something. But, like, that one, to me, like, I love the cross-sport ones. Because one, like I said, there's not real much thought there. It's like, all right, what is, Caitlin Clark average game? What is LeBron average a game? What is this one? Like, all right, cool. Like, I like when they throw hockey in there, like Bulls versus receptions, like stuff like that. Like, give me those because, in my opinion, it's, those are the ones that get everybody in.
Right, those do get everybody in. I haven't seen any cross sports one yet, but if I had to do one, I would do like Rashid Rice yards versus Jason Tatum points or something like that. I came up with Jason Tatum because I know the Celtics play in the afternoon that day, and that's a guy that just stands out in terms of like a cross sport thing, like Travis Kelce receptions or Travis Kelce yards and Jason Tatum points or something like that. Like, I could see something like that as well being, like, a play I'll make.
Yeah, like I said, the one that I saw that I really liked the most was, like, I really liked that Caitlin Clark one.
Right.
Because, like, you're talking about somebody, like, Peyton, you don't even know if Peyton's playing, right? Like, the way the NBA is with this load management crap.
Right, but Tatum usually plays. I mean, I wouldn't worry about Jason Tatum. I mean, I would worry about, like, Jimmy Butler on the Heat, because that's who the Celtics are playing that day.
Yeah. Like, but you get what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I wouldn't take anything with LeBron today.
Right, like, yeah. I wouldn't put LeBron in any cross-sport parlay.
Well, or, like, what was the one? Like, I liked when they used to do hockey, like, goals, like, total goals in a game.
Right.
The Golden Knights used to play, like, every Super Bowl Sunday at home. They can't do it this year, obviously.
Right.
Like, I remember, like, when the Super Bowl was here, I feel like the Devils were home. But then again, like, you don't realize, like, how close everything is in Vegas.
Right. I don't think the Devils were home the day of the...
No, they weren't home the day of, but they were home that week. Like, no, that was the Stadium Series.
The Stadium
So
Series was the same year as that. That's right.
Yeah. So you had stuff going on. Like Vegas played Tuesday. I think they're playing at night, and then they don't play again until like Saturday.
Right.
Like, would have Bill Foley buy a box for the players?
That would be something. But yeah, I'm looking at like first touchdown score props right now for the Super Bowl. The one that jumps out to me, George Kittle 11-1. That is absurd. Like, what if the 49ers start with the ball and say that they do like not some trick play, but like say the Chiefs stop McCaffrey and Brock Purdy's like searching the field and he finds George Kittle wide open in the end zone. Like, I could totally see Kittle being the first touchdown.
I could see that. I think the running backs are going to get it. I think Kansas City is gonna run more.
Yeah, Pacheco's plus 550. McCaffrey's the favorite at plus 340.
I actually have Pop. I have Pacheco.
Yeah, Pacheco 550 isn't bad, but those two are the favorites. I would try to go for like one of the receivers or the tight ends because you get the better number at it. Like, I remember a couple years ago, Odell was like 10-1 or 11-1 for first touchdown, and it hit.
And it was him.
Yeah, in the Rams Super Bowl, he scored the first touchdown of the game, and it was like 10-1 or 11-1.
But the thing is, too, man, they threw the ball.
Right.
Those two teams, they bucked the hybrid trend of today. They're both old school football teams inside the 20s.
Right.
So, like, for Kansas City, they don't throw much outside of Kelsey in the red zone.
Right.
Like, they get down to the 4, you know it's going to be Pop. You know, like, you kind of just see it with them now. That's who they are. They're between the numbers, they throw, right? But once they're inside the 20s, they're running football teams. McCaffrey is. Juszczyk is there. What's Juszczyk's number, just for like giggles?
Juszczyk's number is for anytime touchdown score he's plus 950, but for first touchdown he is 48-1.
So what's to say they don't use him on the 2? You know, like, that's why that is like the hardest prop to pick.
Right, that is a pretty hard prop to pick. But here's an interesting one for first touchdown. What if we see a Devin Hester situation and Richie James is sitting there at 40-1? I mean, I'm not a Richie James fan. He wasn't good on the Giants, but he hasn't been a bad player on the Chiefs. I mean, like, what if he returns a kick or a punt for a touchdown? You never know. I mean, 40-1 isn't bad for first touchdown.
Yeah. What's the one where they don't have... It's like there's that one problem, like, the opening kick onto the end zone. Like, even that's not a good one. Like, that number surprised me yesterday when I saw it. Of course, using ESPN Bet because they can't use BetMGM because
right.
I have family that works there. And FanDuel has a partial deal with them, too.
Wait, FanDuel has a partial deal with BetMGM?
Yeah, in some places.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah,
but yeah,
many people do.
I did not know that. Here's a good one. Coin toss winner wins game. It's minus 104 each way. You would think that one side would be a little bit favored over the other. But yeah, some of these are just pick your poison type of bets here. To win the coin toss in the game, Kansas City plus 320, San Francisco plus 260.
Oh, well, Kansas City was the first team to win the coin toss for like 10 years and won the game last year. Like, this is what makes me laugh about the Super Bowl. Like, the amount of stuff that we talk about, like, this number, like, I just laugh at all this stuff. I think it's the added, will they win the coin toss? Should be who gets the ball first. You can win the coin toss and go first. I know.
Here's a fun one. Any player to record a touchdown and 2-point conversion on the same drive. I could see that. McCaffrey or even McCaffrey or Pacheco. The yes is plus 980.
And the way these guys go for two, yeah, you could see it happen a lot more.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's one I might actually bet. I might actually bet that one. That's actually pretty good.
By the way, Matt, my Winter Classic jerseys just arrived, and the golden ice ones are so sweet.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh my God, they're gorgeous. And if you're fat like me, they're on sale, and you can get them at Fanatics. But you skinny people get food. They're right out of your guys' size.
Whose jersey did you get?
I got a Stone and an Eichel one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like buy one, get one free, basically.
But yeah, you're right with some of these props. Some of these are like so hard to figure out, and some of these I think have good value.
Here's what I heard the other day they were talking about. I think on Levitard. I want to say Levitard, or maybe it was Steve Dangle, one of them. I would think, statistically speaking, the coin toss would be 50-50, right?
Right.
It's not. It's 53-47.
Huh, interesting.
Don't ask me why. I don't know if the force of the tails, but it's not. It's 53-47 tails.
Interesting. That's good to note.
Alicia says it's because of the new coins.
Right. Will there be a 2-point conversion attempt plus money? The yes is plus 148 and the no's minus 188. How is that plus money? They go for 2 all the time. We just talked about this.
Because they bet on it.
Like, I'm probably going to bet on that. That is absurd.
Yeah. I mean, we're not even talking about they do it because, the statistical aspect of it. If somebody takes a penalty and puts the ball on the one, they're going to try it more often than not now.
Right.
Try the kick from the whatever to where, kicking it from the 15 or 30, whatever the hell it is now, I forget where it is. But right, like, if you can put the ball at the one, and you have a quarterback that is, 6 foot tall, all they can do is reach the ball out.
Right. And how about this one? A safety during the game. The yes is plus 1260. The no's minus 4,000. Wouldn't you think the yes would have been like 8-1, not over 12-1?
You know what? We've had safeties in Super Bowl recently.
You had the Giants. The Giants had a safety.
The Giants had one. Seattle had one.
San Francisco.
I had a buddy who was at work has a every minute pool. There's an every minute pool, and then there's a every score pool.
Right.
The guy who had 7-0 was really upset. Hates Peyton Manning now because of it.
Right. That was the Super Bowl I was at in the Meadowlands.
Oh, they don't rub it in. Yeah. That's the one I would have been like, no, thank you.
But yeah, the first play of the game, that was a safety.
So here's the funny thing, like there's no way I would want to go to the Super Bowl, right?
Right.
Especially that Super Bowl. Not because I wouldn't want to go to the Super Bowl, I'd love to. But when you have to commit to going to that game, you have no idea what the weather is, right? And to me, the Super Bowl is like it's not real football. There's no real home field advantage. It's not real football, right?
Right.
And the Super Bowl, you have to be there how early, right, to get in, like, get everything?
Right.
And then you look at, like the Stadium Series is there. Like, I'm, like, actively trying to find people I know that have a luxury box for that. For either game, because it's a bowl. But, like, I don't know, man. The Super Bowl is something. Like, it's not for the normal fan.
Right. Yeah, I went to a Super Bowl. I went to the one at MetLife, and it was cold, and the game was terrible. But it was an experience I'll never forget. I don't regret going. Oh. It was a great time. But yeah, MetLife. And then it's funny because you brought up Winter Classic, and then the World Cup's gonna be there in 2 years from now.
You know, that's the one that, like, I think I think it's really funny. Most people in this country do not understand the ticketing process for FIFA.
Right.
Oh, you think getting Taylor Swift tickets was hard?
I saw her at MetLife too.
Yeah, you think getting Taylor Swift tickets was hard, people. There's going to be a lot of complaining.
Right.
Because you got to remember, the entire world wants tickets for those games. And you have to pass a background check to go to the World Cup.
Right.
Like, I've applied for tickets to the World Cup in the past. It's not fun. I'd rather have a colonoscopy. Buddy of mine went to Qatar this year. He said, like, granted it was Qatar, but he goes, dude, it's terrible. He's like, yeah, we'll try here. I'm like, you gotta figure, there's 82,000 people going to be in a giant stadium, and 5 billion people want those tickets.
Right.
Good luck. And how many of those tickets? It's the same thing in the Super Bowl. How many of those tickets are actually available?
Right. Not a lot. You would think. And
no,
here's
it's not. I know what the number is. The number to the general public in Allegiant Stadium is 5,000.
5,000?
5,000 of the 65 are available to the general public.
Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy. And here's a interesting prop and one that I think has some value. Will any quarter be scoreless? The yes is plus 360. I feel like we have scoreless.
The Patriots aren't in it.
That's true. The Patriots are not in it, and it usually does involve the Patriots.
No, I don't think it is. Will any quarter be scoreless?
Any quarter.
The way the game is called today, no.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You know.
A score in the final 2 minutes of the first half. The yes is minus 355. The no's plus 270. I think that's
another one. Yeah, that's another one. That's another yes.
Yeah, the yes is minus 355. I just think.
One I would pay.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay minus 355, and I wouldn't pay the no for minus 500 on will any quarter be scoreless.
Yeah, no, there's no like it's there's so like some of those are the ones where they're gonna make their money on.
Right.
Vegas liabilities, right? Vegas is very afraid right now. Their
Vegas is afraid of
liabilities throughout the
Kelsey.
no, well, I'm afraid of Taylor. No, their liabilities for the Super Bowl are really high if Kansas City wins.
Yeah, because everybody's betting him.
No, they had him in the preseason.
True. And that was before Taylor was in the picture.
Well, yeah. See, like here's the thing, like that, like now that like people don't realize with Vegas, like when the teams are there, right? I was out in Vegas for Broncos Raiders. No, actually, I take it back. I was out there for Golden Knights Islanders. The other game just happened to be the next day.
Huh.
And yeah, there's a lot of Raider fans that fly in. There is a ton of the other team's fans that come in. So you got to figure on like when Kansas City was in there, or when Kansas City was in that lull, and everybody realized how bad that division was. Like Kansas City to me right now is like the 16, 17, 18, 19 Patriots. 16, 17, 18 Patriots.
That's a good comparison.
Right? Because, like, their division's crap. Right? Like, once you figured out, like, they're going to win this division by default, right, which they did.
Right.
They're going to get healthy. And, like, the smarts were going, and this really feels like the Patriots. I heard this. I heard this out there. I heard this on Visa while I was out there. And there were like a lot, and I just happened to be at the sports book, and there were a lot of people putting money on Kansas City.
Yeah.
And yeah, now they're like, oh, they slow played us. All the how much did the line move from 9:30 to 11 the day the line came out? Moved 2 points. Because 80% of the money is on Kansas City for the Super Bowl.
That's crazy.
And that's not even the sharp money yet.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be some money, some support for San Francisco. I do. But I'm not surprised that most of the money's on Kansas City. Who's a player that you think could have a big game on Sunday that could really go over their receiving or rushing or passing totals? Because I have them all pulled up. Which player intrigues you in terms of people that could have a big game?
Jerick McKinnon.
McKinnon. That's a good one on Kansas City. I don't even have, let's see, rushing props.
He's not. I'm not knowing if he's going to be active yet.
True. Yeah, I don't see him up here, but
all signs point towards him playing.
Yeah. Any player to rush for.
Andy Reid's the guy who likes to invent the wheel. Kadarius Toney's only going to see the field.
Kadarius Toney.
Right? So he's not going to dress. Anybody you would be surprised that bad? Nobody. These teams are Kansas, yeah. Kyle Juszczyk. San Francisco's 3 guys. 4 guys. Kansas City's 4 guys. Like, could Clyde Edwards-Helaire have a great game just on like his limited touches? Yeah, but it's going to be Pop, it's going to be Kittle, it's going to be MVS. There's my guy.
MVS is a good one. That's who I was thinking too, because
I literally had to talk myself until I remembered his friggin' name.
He made the big catch against the Ravens. He made a big catch against the Bills. And then he had that.
Like he's a big catch guy.
And then he dropped the one against the Eagles. Or was it against Buffalo in the regular season?
I think it was in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Kadarius Toney hasn't seen the field since the Buffalo game.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Tony. I mean, I think MVS would be like my random. That could be like a random anytime touchdown type of guy that he might be like plus. Anytime touchdown for him is probably like plus like over 6-1. Let's see. Anytime touchdown for MVS is plus 550. Kadarius Toney's plus 950, by the way, for anytime touchdown.
Anybody that bets on him is related to
him. Probably. Super Bowl MVP, Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy are the two favorites. McCaffrey would be my pick at plus 450. Kelsey's all the way down to 14-1. That's probably all the Swifties betting on him.
I'm gonna make you laugh here, and you're gonna say, and you know me well enough to know exactly what this pick's gonna be. So feel free to call me when I make it.
Okay.
Isaiah Pacheco.
Yes, I don't hate the pick. 25-1. Don't hate it.
Feel free to say it. You Rutgers homer.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I'm not gonna call you a Rutgers homer because I don't hate the pick. I mean, people might call me a Rutgers homer for saying that too, but I like Pacheco. He's my favorite Chief. I love watching Pacheco. Yeah. I mean, when he started playing for them last year, like I was always intrigued by Isaiah Pacheco, and now he's their lead back. I mean, that would be my favorite Chiefs player pick, Pacheco at 25-1. But if I had to bet on anybody, it would be McCaffrey at plus 450.
Let me tell you, this is the one thing I hate to say. You're an idiot if you don't bet on a quarterback. The only way a quarterback doesn't win it. Well, you know what? Have they ever? This is Brady didn't win 3 times in a row either time.
Right.
It'll be if you are betting on this. If you think Kansas City, bet on Purdy. Right? Because they'll give it to the quarterback in the end.
You mean?
If you think Kansas City is going to win, Pacheco or Kelsey.
Right. I mean, I would take Pacheco 25-1 over Kelsey at 14 only because the number's better. You can.
Oh, the number's better. No, I agree with the number better. But come on, all the media. See, if this is the baseball media, I would say I guarantee you Kelsey wins.
Right.
Right, because they would all think like Taylor Swift's going to give a concert at like the BBWAA thing. I met these people. This is how dumb they think. But that's why, like, could he have won it last year? Probably not. Did he win it last year?
Last year, Mahomes won it.
They're not going to give it to him 3 times.
I mean, they might give it to him 3 times if he throws for 400 yards.
They didn't give it to Brady the 3 times.
That's true. They didn't give it to Tom 3 times. And that's
Tom won 4. Deion Branch won the 3rd. Tom won 36-38. Branch won 39. Tom won... Christ, they've been in so many Super Bowls, I don't remember Roman numerals anymore. 20, because the logo's at the... Because you know what? The logo is boring now.
Right.
So 14, 16, 18 was Jules.
Yes, Jules won in 18. I was just going to bring that up. And then you brought up Branch. So Brady won 4 out of the 6, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and then he won... Oh, he was with the Bucks, though.
Yeah.
He did win Super Bowl MVP when he was on the Bucks. I thought about that. I was like, wait a minute, he wasn't on the Patriots that year. Never mind. But he won 5 of them, but 1 of them was not with the Patriots.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, they generally don't give it to the same... They don't give you 3 in a row. and that would be giving him 3 in a row. It won't be go to a defensive guy unless like the last time a defensive guy won was what?
The one at MetLife.
Oh yeah, that's right. But that's because Russell Wilson was average that day.
Yeah, and that game was
Like
mostly their defense and special teams. Malcolm Smith.
I remember Tampa Bay's was like somebody you've never heard of.
Oh, in 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell you who won that Super Bowl MVP. That was a long time ago.
All I remember was Bon Jovi played after the game was over because the NFL wanted to start the season and end the season with Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi did not do halftime that year. I think halftime that year was the. It's funny. Speaking of halftime, I want to know: did you see a prop or anything? A number whether Taylor Swift would appear at the halftime show with Usher or not?
I haven't seen one. She's not. I know she's not going to. Actually, you know what?
I want to know what the
number.
number.
Different line. I will give you different lines. Oh, I can't get onto my Nevada account. Yeah. Let me see if I get into my BetMGM Nevada account. Because their lines are usually different.
Right. But yeah, that's a number I want to know. Just for shits and giggles. I want to see Taylor Swift halftime numbers. But I saw Usher's first song favorite was Yeah, but that's one I disagree with. I think he's going to start out with Oh My God. And I think he's going to close with Yeah.
Well, I know Little John's going to be there because he's DJing in Vegas the day before.
Oh.
I do not see...
And Lil Jon's in Yeah, so that makes sense.
I do not see any... Those you have to almost go to, like...
An offshore.
You almost have to go to, like, a British one for, like... You actually have to go to, like, William Hill across the pond.
Right. All right, Super Bowl halftime prop bets. Number of songs performed during the halftime show. Oh, BetMGM and FanDuel in Ontario have it, which is weird.
Yeah, you're not allowed to bet on it in America because people actually know that stuff. It's like wrestling. You can bet on wrestling in Canada. You can't bet on it here.
Oh, shit. You know what I just found?
What's up?
Special guest performer odds as of February 7th. I'm so excited for this. Do you know who's minus money at a bunch of sports books right now to be a special guest performer? And it's not Taylor Swift. This is actually really exciting.
Wayne Newton.
No, Alicia Keys. Where's that connection with Usher?
I don't know.
Post Malone is minus 440 on FanDuel. Will be a special guest performer. Ludacris, that would make sense because he's in Yeah.
I was almost gonna say Ludacris. But you know what? Like, to make it more Vegas, wouldn't you love to have, like, Wayne Newton or Carrot Top or something?
Right. All right, Taylor Swift plus 550 on FanDuel Ontario and BetMGM Ontario. Plus 550 is Taylor Swift.
I don't think... I've done, like, Red Eyes and Come Here and gone to work the same day. Granted, like, she's flying private, but God, she's not going to want to do that. Especially if she's tuned up in that box. Like, the first time you see her with a drink in her hand during that game, you know she's not performing.
Right. All right. I found first song odds. The favorite on... Oh, these are Ontario numbers. They don't have them in the U.S. This is FanDuel and BetMGM in Ontario. My Way's the favorite at even money, and then oh my God, what song I think he's going to open with is plus 145 in FanDuel Ontario and BetMGM Ontario is plus 150, and then the last song favorite is Yeah at even money. So I think it's going to open with oh my God and close with Yeah. That would be my guess. I just could see it in my head.
To me, I think Yeah's in the middle.
Yeah's in the middle. I think Yeah's going to close it because Yeah's his best song. I mean, Yeah in the middle would make sense if he brings out Little John and Usher, but or I'm sorry, Ludacris, but
Yeah.
wouldn't you want them in at the end?
No, I think you would throw them in the middle, and
But why is Alicia Keys a favorite to be a special guest performer? Like, what song does he have with her?
what song does Usher have with Alicia Keys?
Like,
You're asking somebody who likes country music. If you said like Jason Aldean was showing up, I would know.
Jason Aldean. That would be something.
Oh, they do. My Alicia says there's a song.
Oh, they do. Do you know what would be cool if she also sang a Girl on Fire? Can you just picture her singing that if she makes an appearance?
But that's why I'm saying, like,
Could you picture her singing No One or Girl on Fire? I mean, I hope it's Girl on Fire.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, his show is like we were in Vegas when he started the residency at Park MGM, and like if you walk past the casino, if you walk past it, you can hear it. He's a great show.
I'm sure he is. I would love to see him. If he performed one summer at MetLife, I would buy tickets.
I don't think he's big enough to play MetLife. I think he's coming around. I think he is coming around this year. I think he's playing Prudential Center.
I'll go to Brew to see him. I mean, Brew would make sense for him. Pitbull is minus 114 in FanDuel Ontario and 4-1 MGM bet MGM Ontario for special guests. I mean, Pitbull would make some sense too. Lil Wayne's plus 550. Yes, some of these, Justin Bieber minus 215 in FanDuel Ontario, but I think that's just Toronto people betting on Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
They have a song together, so that makes sense.
Is Tate McRae on there? Because she's everywhere now.
Tate McRae's not on this list. It's only a couple people. Alicia Keys, Post Malone, Ludacris, Lil Jon, Justin Bieber, Pitbull, will.i.am, Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, Taylor Swift, and 21 Savage. And the only reason why Taylor's on there is because of Travis. Taylor's nowhere on this list if the Chiefs aren't in the Super Bowl.
100%.
But yeah, Alicia Keys, I really hope that happens. Now that I saw that, like, I'm excited. I really hope that one happens.
You almost have to start, like, even with those, you almost have to start doing, like, a little bit of research. Is she on tour somewhere? Or is she, like...
Right, that would...
I thought it was fun. Like, I thought it was funny. Like, is Taylor Swift is Taylor going to be there for the Super Bowl? And I'm like... Then, like, we started, like, doing, like, math and time zones and everything, and NORAD's tracking her. Get ready, kids. Taylor Claus is coming to town, and NORAD's going to be tracking her.
Oh, yeah, that's true. NORAD's definitely going to be tracking Taylor Swift this weekend. But, yeah, I'm so pumped.
They announced it.
I'm not going to reveal who my pick is for the game. I'm going to reveal my pick on the regular show tomorrow. So before we move on to hockey, who do you think wins the game, KC or the Niners?
Kansas City.
Okay, I mean, I still am unsure. Like, I've been back and forth.
They know how to win.
They do know how to win, that's for sure.
Like, the first rule of winning the Super Bowl is knowing how to win. Like, you look at, like, the teams that, like, yes, San Francisco's gone there. They don't have a track record of winning.
Right.
Right? Like, Shanahan will do something. Like, let's just say, like, Kansas City has dominated 2 of the 3 games they've been in. And I'd honestly say I think they've dominated 2.5 of the games they've played in. Right? San Francisco just hasn't. And not that I don't think Purdy's good. Like, I'm not going to say, like, look, every quarterback's a system quarterback. Tom Brady was, Joe Montana was. Like, Terry Bradshaw even said, of course we're all system quarterbacks. The system stinks. You know, like, if you have a bad system, I don't care how good you are. You know? Like, how many great quarterbacks from college or in the NFL have been? Like, Jared Goff is in the perfect system for him now. He's got years under his belt there. When you start to look at, like, I trust Andy Reid in the Super Bowl. right? Like
Right.
Spags is like probably the best DC in the league. They're a young defense. And when he gets in trouble, he's got three guys he trusts. He trusts Isaiah Pacheco, he trusts Kelsey, and he trusts, Rice. And Rice, to me, like, reminds me of Malcolm Mitchell a lot. As long as he doesn't blow his knee out and miss, like, his career end, like, after, like, the Patriots would have been fine with Malcolm Mitchell. He just got hurt.
Right.
So, yeah, I plus the fact that I really want to see them win, just to, like, see people melt down. Oh, it's going to be glorious.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like I said, I really don't know who I'm going to pick. I've been back and forth. I think the 49ers are the better team, but the Chiefs know how to win, so that's a hard one for me. And I need to see Joe Thuney play too. I mean, I think his
Cooney's
absence.
not playing.
Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. I mean, they got away with it the last couple games, but I don't like when offensive lines are not healthy. And Joe Thuney's a good player. You know that. He used to be on the Patriots. So,
Yeah, I mean, he got a huge contract to leave New England to go there because after New England beat them, and they realized, like, hey, we got a better offensive line. But you know what? Like, Patrick Mahomes isn't fast, but, man, the guy needs 5, he gets you 7. And he doesn't get hit. Like, he just – he pulls stuff out of his rear end, and you got to be able to improvise to win. Like Chase Young was a dud of a trade for San Francisco.
right, that didn't work out.
It just at the end of the day, like I look at Kansas, I look at San Francisco, and I go, well, Spags is going to take away McCaffrey and make him work for every yard he gets. They're very good tackling. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's why I'm picking Kansas City. I think just that I think they know how to win. Like, how many times did New England go into those games? Not to bring the Patriots up here, right? But how many times are you like, oh, the Patriots aren't going to do this? Patriots are going to, and then they wind up winning. Like all them years they played Indianapolis in like the early 2000s. Oh, Indy's going to wipe the floor with them, and they win. Why? Because you can't give Andy Reid and Spags 2 weeks to get ready for you.
Right. So we'll see. But you're right about Spags. I think he's super underrated now with being the DC of the Chiefs. Won a Super Bowl last year with the Chiefs as their DC. So I love that you brought up Spags. And you know how I feel about Spags. He was the DC of the '07 Giants, so he'll always have a place in my heart as a Giants fan. All right, quickly before we go, let's talk some hockey. Your Golden Knights are playing right now. They're up 3-1 against Arizona. Do you think they have a shot to repeat?
Yes.
I do too.
And and here's the funny thing. I was talking to somebody in the Vegas media the other day, and they were having problems, right? Like, they were having problems. They usually fall into this wall. Like, they lost Jack. They've lost, they're playing without Jack. They're playing without Shea Theodore. They're playing out without Will Carrier. Like, they're down 6 of their top 18, right? Like, so it's a third of your roster that's not playing. But they're starting to get healthy now. What turned it around for Vegas is something that many people didn't catch, but I think a lot of people should have. What was it? The 11th, 12th, whenever they played Pittsburgh, and Riley Smith came back into that building, and Pietrangelo and Marsh's, those kids were playing, like mites on ice, right?
Right.
Uncle Riley sat on the bench, like, he put on a sweatshirt, a Penguin sweatshirt, sat on the bench with those guys and talked to them. I was told that Riley really got on those guys and said, "What are you guys doing?" And like you're not gonna like it's not really publicized, but he was like kind of waiting for him in the tunnel as they were coming off, and was like, "What's wrong with you guys?" And like since then, they've turned it around. Riley Smith is, a UFA after the year, and Pittsburgh's kind of fallen out of it, and he doesn't really seem happy to be in Pittsburgh.
I mean,
Vegas kind of needs. The funny thing was the reason this whole conversation started was Jesse Granger of The Athletic put up the Golden Knights are probably in the market for a winger. And I said to him, just as a joke, I said, maybe they should bring back the winger that they should have never gotten rid of. And all I got back in a DM was just the two eyes wide open emoji. And I said, oh, somebody's telling something. Or somebody knows something.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, the thought of the Penguins being a seller is crazy. Let's talk about them for a second. But yeah, Riley Smith, I could see a reunion there with Vegas. Do you actually think Pittsburgh sells? I mean, I know they won't get rid of Crosby and Malkin and Letang. But, I mean, do you think there's a world where they trade Jake Gensel, or do you think he's there long term?
I think the salary cap staying stagnant has hurt a lot of teams. Like the NHL trade deadline right now is you get like rentals, right? You get some pieces,
right?
And it's funny. I'm literally looking at. I was just like flipping through the hockey news right before we started talking, and there was talk about Vegas. Vegas, for the first time since like this team started, is actually going to have cap space.
Right.
And they're going to have cap space, and they're going to have cap space at the deadline. And they have enough. Let's see, with about $15 million coming off the books, and the cap rising $3 million. Vegas is going to have things, right? They're going to have UFAs, and they're going to get younger because they have guys that are starting to play that come up from. They're getting helped out by the fact that like their guys are coming up from Henderson that are playing for them. But they haven't had to use Robin Lehner's $5 million yet in LTIR.
Right.
I mean he's on there, but they haven't had to use it yet. Riley Smith makes about 3.5. You can probably send them a 3 and have them keep a little bit of that money. Yeah, I think. Do I see a world where Pittsburgh sells? Yes. Because that's Kyle Dubas. Kyle Dubas is going to be a seller, and he's going to be in the market when guys are available.
Right. I forgot that Dubas is there now.
But like they have so far to go. Like I saw it yesterday, and I don't remember it, so I apologize. So I have to look at it again. But I'll pull it up now real quick, the standings. Pittsburgh is in 5th. Granted, they're like 2 points out of a playoff spot, or 5 points out of a playoff spot, 1 point behind the Islanders. But, like, the Islanders are going to get – I think the Islanders finished 3rd because I think Philly needs a goaltender, like, tomorrow.
Right. They're going to drop out of it completely, I think.
Yeah, like, they don't have the goaltending. Like, So, like, if you have a center that's available, we saw that with Sean Monahan. Like, if you're any team that takes a phone call from Montreal, just send it to voicemail because he's going to fleece you. Like, Montreal's going to have, like, 3 first-round picks next year, I think.
Yeah. Sean Monahan, Montreal fleeced Winnipeg, and Winnipeg's good. I mean, Monahan, I can't believe Monahan got a first.
But this is the problem, Mads. These teams are all in.
Right.
Right? Them re-signing Hellebuck, them re-signing not Wheeler, the other guy, the captain. Right? Like, them re-signing those guys made them all in.
Right.
Like, you had to prove to him that you had to do something. Yeah, and they're buyers. Like, they think they can win the President's Trophy. Well, that's one thing I don't want to win is the President's Trophy because you're usually out early.
Yep. Yeah, I don't want to win a President's Trophy. That's why I'm glad that the Rangers had a little swoon that took them out of the conversation for the President's Trophy.
Where like Vegas had their swoon already, and they're starting to play better hockey. Like Boston, if you told me Boston was going to come back this year and be this good, I would have been you're out of your mind.
I agree.
Like they need a number one center badly. Charlie Coyle has played really well in that role. Losing Matt Poitras kind of hurts them because it just takes out depth from them that they don't really have. But they also have to wait until money clears open. Like they have to wait until Krejci and Bergeron, who signed really team-friendly deals yesterday or last year. There was a lot of bonuses on it, and they're still paying them.
Right. And here's another team I'm interested in. We're talking about Pittsburgh and chances they sell. The Devils. I mean, we just talked about, we brought up the Devils a little bit in passing earlier. I mean, that's another team that I'm interested to see what they do. I mean, they could go in either direction.
I mean, you look at the Devils, and they need a goaltender. The Devils need to make it, like, if they go and get John Gibson, right? Like, if John Gibson's their guy, Pat Verbeek is really tough to work against.
Right.
Right? So, if they want to go get him, if you're going to have him retain money, then he's going to take off. He's going to give him more, right? Like, but I think the Devils. Be honest with you, I think the Devils should do they should bring back somebody they should have never traded.
Oh.
I would have never. They chased that Adam Henrique trade so hardly. They should have never given up on them. Or they should have never traded them. Like, they should never trade. And if they could bring in John Gibson, like, John Gibson's a guy, like, yeah, he hasn't played in a playoff game in a long time, and health is a question mark-ish. But, like, to me, the Devils are really – Tom Fitzgerald was really in hard on Connor Hellebuck until Connor Hellebuck recently. And they never really addressed their goaltending. And
right.
Granted, no Devil fan is going to be happy. Right? Like, how long has the San Francisco 49ers been looking for the next Joe Montana or Steve Young? How long has Miami been looking for the next Dan Marino? How long, how long will the Patriots look for the next Tom Brady? You can't look for the next Tom Brady or Joe Montana or Mike Richter or Henrik Lundqvist or Martin Brodeur or Patrick Waugh. They don't grow on trees.
Right.
Like when Vasilevsky is, on the way out in Tampa, you're not going to find another guy like him. They don't grow on trees. Somehow the Islanders always do, but the Islanders don't have the greatest goaltending on the planet. Sorokin's good. It's been
I like Sorokin more than you do.
I'm not saying I don't like Sorokin. I think oh my God, look at him. I think the biggest problem with Sorokin is, you know what? The best thing to happen to Sorokin was also the worst thing to happen to him this year. It's the guy that's behind their bench.
Right.
Because he ain't going to put up with you. And I think I honestly think, I remember the night the Rangers retired Mike Richter's number. And I remember talking to Matt Barnaby about this after the game. I said, the last guy I would have started in net that night was Mike Dunham. And he says, why? I said, because Mike Dunham looked up at that number, looked at Richter, and he was like, oh, I'm screwed tonight. And then Marion Gabbert comes down and flips the puck at him, and it goes right past him. And I just looked at my buddies I was sitting with. I'm like, I'm going home. I'm like, why? I'm like, because this is going to be a long night. Sure, no, it was. I got like Devils picked like Edmonton when they retired Brodor's number. I think they won 1-0. They scored early. But like Corey Schneider that night, I don't even know if it was Schneider that night. I don't even think it was. I think it was. What's his face? Who played the? Oh, he's in a Ranger system now. He's like their goaltender in Hartford.
Domingue?
Not Domingue. Maybe he's not there anymore. Holy crap.
Hartford's goalie.
Who was the backup, Devils backup, like, during the Corey Schneider years? Kincaid.
Right.
I think Kincaid got the start that night.
Kincaid, you're right. He was on Hartford.
Huh. Like, you just... Like, Sorokin's played a lot better since Patrick Waugh got there.
The team's played better since Ross got there. They're up 6-2 right now. I'm watching the game.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what the thing is? What the Islanders did well with getting him is... I gotta really watch what I say here, because some of this stuff I could talk out of school with. Those guys were really happy when that move was made. And you never hear guys say, I'm happy a coach gets fired. And I know going into, like, before they got rid of him, I knew they were like, all right, how much longer are we going to have to put up with this crap?
It's funny with Lane Lambert. I'm surprised they didn't fire him after last season ended. They didn't make the playoff. Wait, did they make the playoffs last year, the Islanders?
They made the playoffs last year.
The Isles did? Yes, they did, right?
They got hot down the stretch.
You're right, they did make it, but they lost in the first round.
To Carolina, and there was no shame in that. But you know what? They should have beat Carolina because they were better than them.
Right, and I think I picked them. I think I picked the Islanders in that series, too. Now that you say that, I did pick the Islanders, and I thought we were going to end up with Islanders Rangers.
I thought their goaltending was better. And it was. The Islanders couldn't score goals, and that's because they didn't really activate Noah Dobson, or Noah didn't start playing better.
Right.
Noah Dobson is a future Norris Trophy winner.
I like Noah Dobson. He's good.
Yeah, he's a future Norris winner.
I agree with you there. Probably not this year, but down the road, absolutely.
That's going to be Quinn Hughes.
Quinn Hughes is a monster. And let's close out with talking about Vancouver before we go. Do you think they have a legit chance to win the Cup, Vancouver?
No.
Oh, you don't think so? Okay.
I don't think they have a legit shot to win that division.
Ooh. Right now they're in first, though.
Right now I think they're 7 points up on Vegas.
Yeah, I mean Vegas can catch them.
Vegas. Okay. See, here's the thing with the West, right? There's some divisions that you have to look at this way, right? Do you want to be 2 in the Pacific Division?
No.
You got to be 1.
I think you got to be 1. You'd rather see the Kings or how about St. Louis being in the wild card right now? Who had that before the year? Not me. I did not think the Blues were going to be good.
Bennington just had to get his head out of his ass. You know, and I think they trade. I think they trade Torrey Krug. I think they're not done. But you know what? They're getting the bump, right? They're getting the bump from Fire and Craig Berube. You know, that's the funny thing with hockey. Scotty Bowman was in Detroit a long time. Jacques Omer was in and around the Devils for a long time. But, hockey rooms, most hockey players, especially nowadays, right? This is the thing that, people have to understand. Junior hockey, you don't play for the same team for 4 years, right? You play, it's 8U, it's 10U, it's 12U, it's 14U, it's 16U, it's 18U, then you go to juniors in college or whatever. College is really the only place you play for a guy for 4 years.
Right?
You look at Guy Godowski at Penn State. The guy's been there since they were a club team. At some point, he's going to be out of Penn State. It's just that the Padulas love him, and they're paying his salary. But like, I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa fires John Cooper for no other reason than he's been there for so damn long.
Right. There's been rumors about his exit from Tampa for a long time now. I mean, I remember.
That's not saying he's not a good coach and he won't get another job the next day. Like, I think the reason why Pete DeBoer's not in Vegas right now is because Bruce Cassidy got fired.
Right.
If Bruce Cassidy doesn't get fired from Boston, Pete DeBoer's still behind that bench.
Yup, I agree.
But George McPhee knew who he had because he had him in Washington. He says, "Oh, I can't get rid of him." It's fantasy hockey at that point.
Right.
You don't let guys like that go. I think like the Devils are stuck with Lindy Ruff now because for some reason he works cheap. But they're a mess. Getting back to them, they're a mess. They don't have goaltending. Jack's back, and they lost tonight, right? Like, they lost to Calgary.
Right, I watched the game.
Not good. Calgary's not good.
Nope.
But like, the Devils are... Lindy Ruff has the line combinations there screwed up so much that, like, I look at it, I go, no. Dawson Mercer playing bottom 3, no. Bottom 6, no. Nico Hischier playing top 6, no. But that's the thing. Like I was at the Ranger Vegas game a couple weeks ago. Sorokin's in his head. And it's funny. I was watching a high school game today, and I'm sitting there texting my old coach who's coaching it, and I go, "Hey, your goaltender goes down way too fast." This is the way these kids are taught today. Holy cow. No. They go down too fast, and all you got to do is shoot high. Like, I was sitting there watching it, I go, all you got to do is shoot high on this guy. He's going to give the puck up. He's going to let it in because he can't get up. It's easier to go up than go down, but guess what? Not in hockey. That's in baseball.
Right. Yeah. Hockey's a interesting sport, and one more thing before we get going.
Sure.
Do you think do you have like a random big prediction for the trade deadline, like Pittsburgh trades Gensel or Washington makes a big move, like a seller kind of move, or do you think Vegas makes a big move, or I think Vancouver already made their big move. Do you think Edmonton does something crazy?
I think Vancouver's like one move away.
Okay.
I could probably go through the whole league. I think Montreal, whatever else they're getting rid of, is they're going to get a lot for. I think Toronto makes a move, but Toronto is exactly why the salary cap is there.
Right.
They got 4 guys making $42 million. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. I think it's something stupid. Like, let me go to cap friendly here. Because I think before I speak, and then I start thinking, I'm like, oh, I know this one. And then I really don't. Cap friendly.
You would think Boston's going to get a center, as we mentioned earlier.
Boston's going to get a center, but I don't think Boston has enough to go all in again because they did that already.
Right. Florida's interesting. I mean, I think that's a team that could get back to the Stanley Cup final.
They could. But the problem is, like, they're going to have to go through Boston. Right?
Right.
Let's see. Toronto's cap hit. All right. Let's see.
Toronto might be a wild card.
I think Bertuzzi gets traded.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Austin Matthews, Tavares, Marner this year make up $33 million of their cap, right? Because the big numbers haven't hit yet, the extensions. Next year, right? Cap's going up $3 million next year, right?
Right.
Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares are $46 million on the cap. on an $86 million cap. It's 4 guys making more than half of your cap. They're going to have to get younger. They have to get better. But the problem is, like, the more you keep giving up guys from the minor league system, like, last year Vegas could have done more. They didn't want to give up Brendan Brisson. Brendan Brisson's not playing in the NHL.
Right.
Vegas could have done more last year. They didn't want to give up Caden Korsak. Caden Korsak's playing in the NHL. Vegas could have done more last year, but they would have had to give up Daniil Miromanov. Daniil Miromanov just came back tonight. He's playing. So, like, yeah, Vegas is like guys like, you know, like William, like Braden McNabb's making money. Like, I honestly think they really need to, like, figure out the Chandler Stevenson thing soon, because the guy's been in his head for the last month and a half. But it's also because he's not playing where he should be. Sorry to get back to Vegas.
Right.
A lot of teams are going to use Chicago. Chicago's going to amass a lot of draft picks.
Right.
Right, because they have cap space. They have to stay at the floor. They're going to be the, you know, hey, we need you to retain 50%. Oh, hey, we need 75% retain. Who are we going to call?
Yeah, they're going to be like the bad contract home.
Mm-hmm. No, they're going to take, like, they're going to have quarters of guys. Like, they're going to have a quarter of this guy, a quarter of that guy. You know, you're going to have to find out who's got, like, LTIR that'll never play again. Like last year, like a Shea Weber or like Carey Price or whatever. Like, guys like that, they're never going to play again, but still have money, and that could give you LTIR relief if you need it.
Right.
Like last year, the Golden Knights traded Shea Weber to Arizona.
Right.
Because Vegas didn't need the LTIR room after the deadline. And, you know, Arizona had to get to the floor. So, like, Chicago's going to need to stay on the floor. Having some of those moves that they made, like extending Mrazek, extending Foligno, those guys are definitely trade pieces. I think you're going to see a couple goaltenders. Fleury, I have like 3 places I want to see Fleury go, which is kind of funny. Like, you're going to have to ask him where he wants to go at this point, and I think Billy Guerin will do right by him. I could see him. I don't see him staying in the West because I don't see him saying, like, oh, yeah, I want to go to Edmonton. He wants to play. I can see if, like, I don't see him going to, like, the Devils because I think he's going to want to stay away from teams that would be, like, around Pittsburgh and Vegas.
Right. I mean, I almost brought up back to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but Tristan Jarry's not giving up that net.
Right.
Like, not giving up a first rounder for the Rangers is, I get it. Like, I get it because only the first round of the draft is at the Sphere, and Dolan, of course, wants to be involved.
Right.
The worst thing that happened to Ranger fans is that he realized he owned the hockey team again.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's just money stuff now. Like, everybody's, like, most teams are up against the cap. If you really, like, if you just look at, like, projected cap space, like, where is it? Projected cap it. Cap is 83, I think.
Right.
Edmonton has 500,000. Vegas has nothing. The Kings have $2,000. That's because they signed the worst contract in the NHL, and that takes a lot for me because I still think it's Nico Hischier. Devil fans send me hate mail. Like, hi, my name is Brew. Chicago's got $8 million. Anaheim's got $8 million. Nashville's got $8 million, but they have LTIR stuff on there too.
Right.
Like, you know, there's some teams that are gonna need it.
Yeah, some teams are gonna need it. George, it was a pleasure to have you on tonight. I would love for you to come back on before the trade deadline or after the trade deadline so we could talk some more hockey and whatnot. It was fun. I love having you on. You know that.
I know. Yeah, just ask. I'd never say no.
That's right. You never say no, and I love that. Alrighty, have a good night, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, ma'am.